Hello everyone and welcome to my Periscope. Today we will be talking about sexualization, and I am super excited to be talking about this topic tonight because it is truly, I'm gonna switch the camera a little bit so that the lighting gets better. Good. There we go. And this topic is super important because it impacts all of us. And often this is one of the topics that no one talks about. You know, I mean, and I've said this in almost every Periscope, sexuality is not talked about. You know, it's one of those topics that people really just take for granted. You know, some people might be open to talking about sex, but really the sexualization of it is something that is often not talked about. So what is sexualization? Sexualization is how, what's mean sex? I'm not sure what you mean, or do you mean if I mean sex? If you can clarify the question, I will definitely be glad to answer it for you. So sexualization is how are we using our sexuality? Are you controlling others? Are you manipulative? You know, this includes flirting, right? So I don't know about you, but I love to flirt. It is something that I find fun, exhilarating. Hi from Newark. I am in East Rutherford right now, so not too far. And, you know, I love to flirt. But also flirting can be used to manipulate others. And that is sometimes not healthy, right? When you're using it in a way that might be harming someone else or even harming yourself in the long run, that can really be detrimental to your sexuality. Yes, true, Phil. Very true, Phil. And, you know, what else is included? Tell me a good flirt saying. Oh my God. Okay, I'm cheesy, so I can't really give you good ones. But I think, you know, one of the things that often is not appreciated by the ladies, at least as a lady I can relate, is disrespect, right? If you're telling me I'm beautiful, I'm regardless of whether I know you, I'm interested or not, I'm going to find that appealing. I'm gonna say thank you for calling me beautiful. Now, if you're like, hey baby, I want you to suck my dick and like all this other stuff, that's too much. I didn't catch the last question. Sorry. If you can ask it again, I'm happy to answer it. Like I said before, if you put something that is disrespectful towards me or towards my audience, I will block you. Otherwise, keep the questions coming. Stop the clock. Not sure what that means. But definitely, you know, who am I? I am a sexuality coach and educator, and that is part of what I do, not exactly who I am, but I'm not sure if that was what you were asking. If you have any more questions, let me know. If you write something nasty, I will block you, like I said before. I have no shame in blocking people. What else is part of our sexualization, right? And sexualization, this is one of the elements of sexuality that has both positive elements and not so positive elements. And I don't want to call them negative elements because it's not always negative, but it definitely can have a negative impact. Thank you. How old am I? I am 27. I don't think that matters. Hi from Istanbul. Thank you for hopping on. Withholding sex. Withholding sex is another thing that can be very empowering and be used in a very empowering way, but it can also be used to manipulate others and to get things that you might not want or that you do want and you're kind of manipulating someone into it. I asked 3 times and you didn't answer. Not sure what the question was. I'm trying to keep up with the questions as best as I can. Very nice hair, thank you. Some other things, seduction, right? If someone is seducing you, that can be very exhilarating. It can be very exotic, very erotic, and seduction can be very positive. Why do girls show cleavage and then get upset when men look? I don't think that they get upset when men look. I think they get upset when men say inappropriate comments that are not respectful. That is my answer to that one. Hello from Ireland. I love Ireland. You know, a couple of other things, and this one is for all of us, right? To really like tune in. And I think that last question about like, why do women show cleavage? I'm showing cleavage for myself. I think I feel sexy when I have cleavage showing. It's about me. It's not about anyone else, right? And even like I've gotten comments even on this Periscope. I don't show cleavage, and yet people are asking me about my boobs. So I think it's like really when it gets disrespectful. Do you agree that not all beautiful women are not sexy? I believe that women can be beautiful, women can be sexy, women can be beautiful and sexy, but sexy is a state of being and an expression of your sexuality. So, you know, someone might be beautiful but not be exuding sexiness. So I do agree with that partially. Sexual harassment. And I want to talk about this one a little bit because this goes on in some not so fun ways, right? When you're getting you know, harassed on the street because of what you're wearing or how you look, you know, people can walk around naked for all I care, and no one has the right to sexually harass you. You know, it's one thing, like I said, if you say you're beautiful, that's a statement. But when you're like, oh, show me your nipple, show me your tits, like, what a big ass, like I want to tap that, all of that, that's sexual harassment. And it doesn't feel good for a woman, a man, for anyone. So I really want people to hear that and definitely look at that, right? I block people on my Periscope if you are asking me to show you something. I am not here to show anyone anything other than to share education and light and love and, you know, help people get empowered. How do you know what men like? You ask. That's how you know. Every person is different. Every woman is different. Every man is different. We are all unique sexual beings. We all have very diverse expressions of who we are. So the easiest way to know what someone likes and doesn't like is to ask them, right? Now, if they don't know what they like and don't like, that's a self-discovery journey that they need to go on, or that they can choose to go on, right? Because no one needs to do anything. I still look at good-looking women, but keep it moving, however. Exactly, you can look, keep it moving. Yeah, men, I don't think men like being harassed either. I don't think anyone likes being harassed. I think it's very uncomfortable and it just doesn't feel good. Now, a compliment, I think anyone enjoys a compliment. You have beautiful eyes. I love your curls. Beautiful smile. You know, you look handsome. Those are all compliments and can be very well received, and most people will receive it well. Okay, I'm not sure what that meant. But that's one of the elements of sexualization that can really have a negative impact on our society. You know, I have friends who work at organizations where all that they do is, you know, work to end sexual harassment on the streets. And that's a very real thing. And you know, women, men, you can't really tell age anymore, right? You can think that, you know, if I'm dressed in like shorts and a t-shirt, I might look like I'm in my teens. Sometimes I might look like I'm older. You cannot really tell age, so you might be sexually harassing a teenager, and that might feel really uncomfortable for someone who's developing and who's blossoming into their womanhood. And yet you're doing it without really knowing, A, that you're sexually harassing someone, and B, that they're really uncomfortable by it. It happens, but it really shouldn't happen, right? You should really be mindful that our language really has an impact. Words have energy, and energy has an impact, regardless of who you're directing it to. If it's towards someone of the opposite gender or the same gender or transgender, it has an impact. So just be mindful, everyone. You know, use your words, self-control. Thank you, Phil. That's a huge one. You might think some thoughts, doesn't mean you have to express them. Two of the more heavier elements of sexualization are incest and rape. And I kind of will talk about those together, because usually when incest happens, it's associated with some form of rape or violence or molestation. So those are like the extreme, right? And yet that extreme is constantly happening on college campuses. Right? Incest is still very prevalent among our society. And yet we say, you know, we're so sexually liberated. In reality, we're not. Our media, you know, the messages and images that are fed to us, that's also part of sexualization. And those are much more liberal, right? You can be naked on the cover of Vogue, and that's okay. But if you're naked in the street, you're going to get harassed. And you see how there's a discrepancy there. It's not, our society is not okay with someone freely expressing their sexuality in their private life and in public. Now, the media is a whole nother story. They want to feed you sex, right? Everything has to be like sexual, sexy, provocative. And that's the messages that we get. Yet when we actually try translating that into our own lives, we come up against a clash. And that's where some of, you know, those mixed messages happen, and there's sexual harassment, incest, rape happening. And really, we're not even looking at it as a society, because it's like, shh, don't talk about it. That's how they make money. You got it, Phil. That's how they're making money. Sex sells, right? And because sex sells, they're not really caring about the impact that that's having on our society. But I'm here to tell you, it is not okay to partake in rape. Any type of sexual behavior, contact that is not 100% consensual from all parties involved, it's harming someone. And to me, not cool. Right? You might have a different opinion. I'm not here to convince anyone of my opinions. I'm just here to share, you know, my point of view, how I have come to learn sexuality, how I see things. And if you agree, great. Keep joining, keep watching. And if not, you know, look at that. You might not choose to come back, but that's okay. So, you know, there's so much happening with sexualization, and just to go back, you know, there's positive stuff in there, right? The flirting, the seduction, those can be so fun and playful and enthusiastic and really open up a relationship to whole other levels. Yet, you know, some sexual energy left to its own device without really being focused can really turn negative and turn into things like rape, incest, you know, manipulation, power, and control. And those aren't necessarily healthy, right? If you choose to engage in those, just know that there's a block there somewhere. And definitely, like, I'm all about creating freedom of energy, creative expression of your essential sacral chakra energy. So for me, when I look at these things, I really try to get at the root, right? Because it's not just the behavior and what you're doing and how you're using your sexuality, but usually it has to do with something deeper, right? You know, I was raped when I was a high school student, and, you know, I was molested as a child by an uncle, and yet I've healed those things. But often, you know, you look at who's out there that's committing these violations towards others, and chances are they were violated themselves at one point, but they haven't healed from it. So really, this video, what I wanna, it's all good. I'm healed. I'm A-okay about it. So no worries there. Thank you. But really, I say that and I share that not to be sad or to put a Debbie Downer on the Periscope, but really to show that you really need to do the work. You really need to do the healing that needs to happen so that you can really experience your sexualization to the potential of the positive, right? To fully engage in your own sexuality in the most positive, liberating, self-expressive way. Because if you don't, things like rape, incest, molestation, you know, manipulation, and control can happen. Now, one of the things I do want to throw in there is some people might say, well, what about the BDSM lifestyle? You know, isn't that power and control and manipulation and whatnot? And actually, it's all consensual. It's actually one of the lifestyles where everything is very much consensual. So my opinion, and this is, like I said, my opinion is as long as it's 100% consensual, you can do whatever you want. And if that includes the BDSM lifestyle, God bless you, go on your way. I hope you have fun, enjoy it, play around, be adventurous, explore. But if it's not consensual, then that's where I have some reservations. So to sum it up, you know, really look at how you are using your sexuality. Are you using it to further express yourself? Are you using it to really connect with others, to, you know, build and express everything that you have to express? Or are you using it in a manipulative, controlling manner? And if you are, really look at why and what healing needs to happen, right? What healing needs to happen. And if you want to talk more about that, I am always available. Like I've said before, I'm a sexuality coach. I work one-on-one with people to really tap into their true potential, their true power in their sexuality. You know, when you are in your power, in your sexuality, you are in your power in your being. And that is a life changer, a game changer. You are going to show up to every arena of your life in a much more powerful way. So I hope you all got something from this chat. This is the sum of the 6-night series on, you know, the overall helicopter view of sexuality. I will not let you know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a surprise. So stay tuned until tomorrow night. I hope you have a very, very, very passionate night. And I thank you, Phil. Thank you. Keep watching. Hope to see you tomorrow. And until tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Same time every night, Monday through Sunday. I am here. And then Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., I do my morning inspirations. I also do the same Perry's in Spanish at 9:30 and p.m., you know, every night. And then 9:30 a.m. in the mornings, Monday through Friday. So until tomorrow night, where we will be talking about a new juicy topic. I hope you have a very passionate night. Love you all. Bye.